Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you're doing well this morning. Well, looks like everybody survived last night. Kansas City didn't erupt into outright violence or anything like that. Although Taylor Swift was there or something about that. I don't know. It makes no sense to me why everybody goes bonkers over Taylor Swift one way or the other. She's an entertainer. Cool. I'm sure I've probably heard some songs by her or something like that. I don't know. No, I just don't pay that much attention. Um, I didn't really pay attention to the football game either. I do know that the Kansas City won, but that's about it. Other than that, how's everybody doing this morning? Ah, wakey, wakey. Good morning, Flatty. Hope you're doing well this morning. Oh my, nice night last night though. Hanging out with Kaiser is always a pleasure. Oh, damn, chair, it's giving me a hard time. Trying to get readjusted. There we go. Yeah, hanging out with Kaiser's always a pleasure. He's good people. Unfortunately, Diva couldn't make it, or Volstorm, or All Biker. All I got was a message just like, "Oh, Diva said sorry. I totally divaed on you." It's no biggie. Oh, so if uh if um if Diva isn't able to make the next one though, I'll probably go on and just do it without her. We'll see. Hey, Harris. Good morning. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Mm. So yeah, that was really all that about happened with the whole, the whole Super Bowl. Hooray! I don't know if there's any more that I could talk about that. I mean, like I said, I heard your best friend came back last night. Oh, your best friend came back last night. Who's that? Who would your best friend be that came back last night? Um, well, you're talking about the person that you removed. Yeah, that's okay. I took care of them. I have my ways. I gave them 24 hours. Mm. Yep. That's how people like to play. It's expected. Hey, Wolfram, glad you could make it. Wipes in, wipes his paws, lopes in, and howls. I don't know. Maybe loping in, then wipe your paws. I don't know. I can sort of hear the jingle jangle of that wolf collar. Or do wolves even wear collars? Hmm. Hmm. Yes, it was. Last night was insane. I don't know. Maybe it's just that time of year, time of month that they feel necessity to come in and troll. I don't know. It doesn't bother me really, um, unless one of my mods is particularly bothered with them. I usually just ignore them, and they tend to go away after a while. It's when they start typing in things they know that's going to get me in trouble that I'm like, I'm not going to put up with you, and I just tend to remove them. You know, other than that, I don't have to worry about it. Texas Jen, how you doing? Texas Jen, it was wonderful meeting you the other night. She's very awesome. Yeah. Yep. Very awesome. And let's see, what do we got? Yeah. Okay. Looks like everybody's been covered. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. Ahead of time. Oh, so there was a pew pewing in Houston, and we'll just find out more information because I haven't heard anything about this. Oh no, this was updated in February 12th, 2024. Is today the 12th? So they updated it. Hmm. Let me take a look and see what exactly this is. So it looks like in Houston, A woman's motive for opening fire in celebrity pastor Joel Osteen's megachurch. Oh boy, a megachurch. People, if you don't like the church, just don't drink the wine. You'll be fine. That's all you have to do is just not drink the wine. You know, I'm telling you, it's it's a it's an insane thought that you would have to go in and do some pew pewing. I would always suggest seek help, like seek mental help if you're having some sort of issue or something's really going bad. Doing the pew pew is never good. It looks like my visibility got blocked last night. I love it. I'm gonna have to take care of that today. It took him about 24 hours to actually block it. Mm, wait, this was a woman? Yeah. Yeah, you hear that right. So, a woman's motive for opening fire on Sunday was unclear on Monday, or was it on Monday she did it? Okay. The day after the shooting set worshippers rushing for safety in between busy services. Police say two off duty officers working security at Lakewood Church, one of the largest mega churches in the U.S., deleted the suspect. Two other people were also shot and wounded, including a 5-year-old boy who entered the church with the shooter and was taken to hospital in critical condition. Damn. Olstein said the violence could have been worse if the shooting had happened during an earlier and larger Sunday morning service. Here's what to know about the deleting. How did it unfold? Startled worshippers just before 2 p.m. Sunday, and around the time many people were getting ready to watch the Super Bowls. Of course, the Houston police chief, Troy Finner, did not identify the pew pewer at the news conference Sunday while standing near Osteen. He described the shooter as a woman in her early to mid 30s, saying she entered the church wearing a trench coat and backpack, armed with a long rifle, though he did not specify the exact weapon. Finner said the woman entered the church with a young boy, but did not describe their relationship. The woman began pew-pewing and was confronted by two off-duty officers, a Houston police officer and an agent with the Texas alcohol ATF, basically Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission, who returned fire. Finner said the woman told officers after being shot there was a la bomba, but they found no explosives. He and other authorities at the scene praised the officers for taking down the shooter. She had a long gun. It could have been worse, but they stepped up and did their job. Who were the victims? Authorities have not released the victims. It was unclear how the young boy who was taken to the children's hospital was struck. When asked whether the boy was shot by off-duty officers returning fire, Finner said he did not want to speculate, but added that suspect put that baby in danger. I want to put the blame on her. So there's always a possibility that those gentlemen did a little pew-pewing the wrong way. Don't make period jokes. That would be crass. What, like Victorian or something like that? Victorian or Elizabethan. I mean, it just depends on what you want to say. Morning Baker. Yeah, TABC. There you go. Authorities described the other victim as a man in his 50s who was wounded in his hip. He got shot in the booty. How did worshippers inside react? Let's see. How did they react? Boom, 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 and he yelled, "Mom," he said. Okay. That's how he reacted. This guy's name is Giddy. It looks like guilty, but it says Giddy, 35, ran to his mother. After they both laid flat on the floor, as the gunfire continued, Giddy said his mother prayed and stayed on the floor for about 5 minutes until someone told him it was safe to leave the building. As he was led outside, Giddy could see people who were afraid and crying and looking for loved ones. Giddy said he and his mother tried to calm people down by worshiping and singing in Spanish. Move in me, touch my mind and my heart. Move in me, Holy Spirit. That's a song? Good Lord Almighty. That's a lot. You could have just like shortened it down to oh, I guess you couldn't really say move in me. If you called it that, it might bring totally different connotations to the story. Ooh, who is Joel Osteen or Osteen? Osteen, okay. He's 60. He took the helm of Lakewood Church after his father and founding pastor died away in 99. The church has grown dramatically under Joel and is regularly attended by 45,000 people, making it the third largest megachurch in the U.S., according to Hartford Institute for Religion Research. Jesus, Lord Almighty. He is known as the prosperity gospel, belief that God wants his followers to be wealthy and healthy. He is the author of. I love it. Oh, jeez. You got to hear some of the song that we sung into church. It's an experience. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Oh, his televised. Sorry. Move in me. She's still high off the Swift. Swift ball. That's no, I don't know where. I don't know where Farrell is. She's probably working. She does work. It does happen, Baker. I mean, if you want to come hang out, I can always drop you a little bit of love. Just oh my god, this is so crazy. Move in me, move in me, wiggle it around and move in me. The spirit of the Lord compels you. Oh, that's going to get clipped, I'm sure. After Hurricane Harvey flooded Houston in 2017, he opened his church to those seeking shelter for not because they slammed him for not offering to house people in need, of course. But what does that have to do with this woman that goes in and starts shooting? It's so weird. Why would you do that? I don't know. I don't know. People are weird. Why they do things like this couple. It might be too early to show it, but I'm going to show it anyway. So this couple, now this happened back in November that they were finally arrested. So nearly 200 abused corpses were found in a funeral home. Why did it take authorities years to act? So a coroner reported suspicions about bodies being poorly treated by a Colorado funeral home more than 3 years before. 3 years before, 200 bodies were discovered inside a decrepit building in October. The concerns raised by the Fremont coroner also included worries about improper refrigeration of bodies and were reported to the state agency in 2020. So here we are. Well, and then I kick right into this. Happy New Day, y'all. Isn't that horrible? A little foreplay or some lube might be nice before you go so hard. Good luck. According to the arrest affidavits returned to Nature Funeral Home, John and Carrie Halford, the coroner, received no response from the state agency, which has struggled to effectively oversee the industry. That's just sad. The fact that he made a complaint had nothing about it. Something blows my mind. It was hired the funeral home to cremate her mother. Blah, 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 blah. They were discovered last year whenever neighbors complained of the smell. They believe that they moved some of the bodies to the main funeral home after a complaint about the odor, and arrest affidavits have been sealed since November when the couple was arrested in Oklahoma after they fled. And of course, guess what I have? I have the affidavits. Isn't that awesome? Okay, all I need to know is, did Swifty's boyfriend win last night? If he played for the Kansas City Chiefs, then yeah. I didn't have to even watch that. I called that ahead of time. Need to know if I'm going to have pissed off person to deal with today. Yeah, they won. Sorry about that. So it says basically in these particular documents. Let me bring it up here a little bit. Damn it. Just roll. There we go. Hmm. They relied on investigators from outside cities, although most of the affidavit was prepared by Andrew Cohen, received below facts carefully. So I submit the following facts demonstrate possible cause to believe that on or about September 9th, 2023, or October 4th, 2023, with acts of furtherance of violations county of El Paso in the state of District of Colorado, the defendant John Halliford did commit the following offense: abuse of a corpse. And we go down here, A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way down to A 17, 18, 19, 20, B no more, and there's more, and there's more, and it goes on and on and on 190. I submit the following facts to demonstrate possible cause to believe that he committed the following offenses in forgery: 61 counts. And then we go on to John Halford did commit the following offense: is theft, and it's 1, 2, 3. It looks like there's 4 counts, and then another one, 5 counts. Submit the following facts to demonstrate possible cause between this. They were doing money laundering, 4 counts, wire from ENT, wires. Deceptive business practices, return to nature funeral home, made contractual obligations to properly obtain death certificate, subsequent store, cremate, or bury individuals. Many of these contractual obligations went unfulfilled, and their false statements to the state of Colorado result in the generation of inaccurate death certificates in the simplest form. Death certificates for at least 190 people are inaccurate. Yeah. Of course, they're saying 2023, which is really weird because most of these offenses happened in 2020. Which is weird. Just really, 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 really weird. So, yeah, these people looks like they are probably going to go away for a long time for doing some bad things with the bodies. And it's showing like the temperature of the room was a mere 65 degrees. And it goes on with more, and it just continues on and on. And so there's a driver's license of Halliford, of course, and we hope that if he's found guilty, that he's going to be serving a lot of time. $5,000 trip to Las Vegas and Tiffany Jewel Company. So there were approximately 151,000, 62,000 taken from the account. This included the following approximate personal expenses: $19,000 in Amazon, $6,800 for a trip to California, $31,000 in cryptocurrency, $7,700 in travel expenses on Expedia, purchases and Gucci luxury band, jewelry, trips to Florida, laser body sculpting, a trip to Las Vegas. I mean, it's just the amount of money that these people were spending on doing things like this. Actually, in a case where following the abuse of a corpse is a misdemeanor and the lightest of all charges, the man is charged with. Yeah, but their quickcrete was found next to a bone grinder. Well, if you wonder what they were doing, they suspect that not only were they doing that, that they were grinding, supposed to be grinding up these corpses, and after cremation, but they were sending them quickcrete instead. So if you're concerned, if your loved one was good morning, atheist dad, good to see you. if you suspect that your loved one may have been mistakenly uh, turned into concrete, do not mix with water. It's just horrible. So they traveled all over the place. Financial transactions from accounts, or I mean, just sending money left and right. Convenience stores, 30 month. I mean, they just pretty much laying out their entire case. This is Pikes Peak National Cemetery, the intended burial location of E24, and they just on and on, and I mean this just goes on. So this was subscribed to them the 4th of November 2023. If I'm not mistaken, it was quite much more earlier than that they were doing all of the bad things. Their hearing was on February 9th, or it was updated on February 9th, but it's just really weird because I'm pretty sure I read that it was much earlier than that. Let's see if I can find it here. So I was positive that they were talking about this happened years before. Yes, the original story was, no, it was 2023. It was in October 2023. Uh, yeah, they've just fabricated a bunch of records. Um, it's gonna be a rough one for them, especially whenever you have the bodies. Like unlike some people that they've never found the bodies at all anywhere. Isn't that weird? So weird. And then of course we're going slowly into the night. Shiz, haven't you on trial streams as of late? What's up with that? Haven't seen me on trial streams? Oh, well, work work takes a lot out of me. As far as showing up on trial streams, you have to I don't have time throughout the day to actually do trials. Um, and so I just don't show up. you know, it's, uh, that'd be about it. I mean, no biggie. I, I, I would if I had more time to do that, but work takes priority over everything. Hey, good morning, Dave. Speaking of trial streams, hey, Dave. Dave hasn't done a trial stream in a little while. Also, might be a while before he does one. He's disappearing from YouTube. He's just kidding. I'm giving a hard time. Good morning, David. I love it. Let's see. You also had that water issue. It must have taken some time. Well, yeah, the water issue is still ongoing. Insurance hasn't resolved it. And of course, today we've got, yeah. See, no trial streams for David. That's especially, those trial streams can take a lot out of you, mentally, physically. Um, and if you got a full on law practice, it's work. I mean, right now I'm covering the Sadie Sadie Beecham interviews with Mo in the Deep End, which Dave was so kind to be able to get, and using his, I think Vielhammer, you're using his updated audio on those for the. I mean, it's just one more glorious thing that Dave has done for this community, and we all appreciate him for it. But yeah, Dave says no more trial streaming for him. I don't blame him. It'll take a lot out of you. Um, it's just mentally you see things that shouldn't be, and you have a hard time resolving it. And you know, It's not pretty. Never pretty. Just like this isn't pretty. Sorry to tell you. We're about to go political. Just so you know. Uproar over Biden classified documents report carries echoes of 2016 email case. Ooh, doesn't it though? The release of harshly critical Justice Department special counsel report on Joe Biden has triggered instant flashbacks to history shaping events of 2016. That's when FBI Director James Comey castigated Democrat nominee Hillary Clinton over her email practices despite recommending against charges. In this year's already heated election season, the Justice Department cleared Biden, too, of criminal wrongdoing, but painted a politically damaging picture of his mishandling of information. Both documents were derided by Democrats for their potential to unduly shape public perception in an election year and for the inclusion of what they saw as gratuitous swipes at their candidates. In particular, there's detailed discussion of apparent memory lapses by Biden, reviving a long-running debate within legal circles about how much derogatory information is appropriate to place in the public realm about individuals like Biden and Clinton who are investigated but not charged. Oh, it's insane. No shit. People are just starting to compare those two events. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, whenever the news becomes so blatant, it's really hard. So we're going to get Farrell or Beetlejuice. I think she's playing hide and seek. Here it is. Ovach said, Farrell guys. And for the inclusion, what they saw is, I think what we saw was a special counsel who was trying to be as complete as possible and trying to be as transparent as possible with the public about every aspect of the investigation. So they let it slip. But ultimately, some of those observations were more subjective than objective. And I think it's fair individuals to question whether or not some of the phrasing was put in the report was entirely necessary. Well, if you see something, I mean, the way that it was worded was basically saying, well, he couldn't really be guilty because he's falling apart at the seams. Like he's clearly he doesn't know where he is half the time. So, this is just an observation. So how can he be guilty of something he doesn't know? Like the dementia set in, and he's like, dude, Pat barely knows who the fuck he is. Like, what do you want me to say? I'm trying to put this as nicely as possible. And it's just a thought. This guy probably hasn't had a cognitive thought of his own in the past like 6 years. I mean, you saw him on stage with Trump. He couldn't maintain that level of acuity. Hell, even Trump has a hard time keeping a level of acuity that's perfect. I mean, dudes are old, they're not young. Oh, as Biden forgets he doesn't remember things. Yeah. Kamala is almost worse. Yeah. Camel Toe has some issues, some serious issues. I pulled something up from her. It was just insane, and it was completely unedited. Completely unedited. Let me see if I can find that. Boo boo boo. Yeah, where is it? It's here somewhere. I will find it. Where is the camel toe? Where is the camel toe? I know it's here somewhere. It'll probably get me another little strike or something. It happens. Where is the? It's here somewhere. Damn it. Ah, here it is. I found it right here. Here we go. There we go.
She's a pen.
Yeah, so there you go. a little bit of Kamala for you. Good morning, T-Rex. Probably more than yeah. Hello, John. Good to see you. Yeah, there's a you have to remember back in what was it 2020 that they really wanted Kamala in there, like most desperately, and the fact that she couldn't even get like a small percentage of Iowa, New Hampshire, all the places where they're really relying on that big early push. Whenever she's getting her ass handed to her, like we're not talking a little bit, like she wasn't even up, able to stand on her own 2 feet. Um, just got hammered each and every damn way. I was I was surprised that they even wanted to keep her in the running. So, and she hasn't gotten much better. Just saying, proof is in the pudding. The only thing edited is the glass.
I'm pointing to the direction of what I believe is the Capitol. And what needs to happen in terms of people who otherwise have evidenced themselves having a feckless quality to show some courage to reject the false notion that suggests you're either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away, when in fact it's just reasonable. I support the Second Amendment, but it's reasonable to say we need an assault weapons ban. It's reasonable to say we need universal background checks, that we need red flag laws. It's reasonable to say that if you want to deal with violence in the community, you also got to understand it's not only about mass shooting situations, which are horrific, and it's about everyday gun violence. I'm pointing to the
She has the right skin tone and the correct gender. Intelligence is not important to Democrats. Some of them it might be. ASMR alert: if you enjoy scenic views and beautiful landscapes, check out Fedorowski's YouTube channel. Yes, definitely check it out. It is pretty awesome. Good to see you, Fed. I'm glad you could make it in. Let's see, what was that? Somebody was asking me a question there. Merci, Madame Viola Le Bidiclam. Merci. Oh, but as I was saying, let's bring this back up here. Continue on with this silly story. So, as FBI Director Comey broke from the norm by delivering a detailed public statement marking the conclusion of the Clinton email investigation, even though such announcements, to the extent that they're made at all, normally would come from the Justice Department. Hurd, by contrast, was fulfilling his duty under Justice Department regulations by drafting a report that was presumably meant for public consumption. Such reports, like Special Counselor Robert Mueller's 119 about Trump and Russia, often include unflattering narratives about people who were not charged with a crime. The Justice Department regulations mandate that special counsels produce their reports confidentially to the Attorney General, but they don't dictate what should be in those reports, said former Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who appointed Mueller and was once Hurd's boss. the policy is about what you release to the public and blah, blah. In both Clinton and Biden cases, the language used to characterize the subjects has been as closely scrutinized and criticized as the decision not to prosecute. Even as he detailed the reasons she shouldn't be prosecuted, those we're talking about Clinton, not Bill, but Hillary. Her said he would not have charged Biden, even independent of Justice Department legal opinion, says the sitting presidents cannot be indicted. See how beautiful that is? As a journalist, asked Kamala how she defined assault weapon. Well, we all know that whenever they're born, these assault weapons, they're born just as regular weapons, and they're mishandled and mistreated on this as young weapons, and as they grow older, and some of them, they're sent to the military. Those are considered weapons of mass destruction, and then the ones that they send out into civilian life, those are called assault weapons. And it's because they're very salty and they get very angry easily. Sometimes late at night, they like to climb out of their foot lockers and gun safes and go and do like really mean things to people, totally unprovoked. I mean, they're just they just turn bad. It's usually people that support the Second Amendment, because I think they might just be a little bit salty for being put into a safe. They also might be a little bit salty because they go to people that know how to take care of them. And these are just violent weapons. They're mean and cruel and abusive. They usually will find places of worship, and any place where there's a lot of people hanging out. The ones that go to the like gangs and stuff like that, those aren't considered weapons. They don't commit mass shootings, and they don't do anything wrong. They're like perfectly innocent little, we call those handguns. They're perfectly innocent. You know, if because they hang out with gangs. I mean, if you hang out with a gang, you're okay. So just know that the ones that go to law-abiding citizens, those turn evil. So yeah, sorry, I went off a little bit. During an interview with Hearst office, a report said Biden could not immediately recall the dates of his vice presidency or what year his son Beau died. So they consider him a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with poor memory. Those comments prompted fierce pushback from Biden himself, who in a White House news conference grew visibly angry as he denied not knowing when his son had died. Insisting his memory was fine, he said of Hearst's reference to Beau Biden, how in the hell dare he raise that? Well, because you clearly don't remember. Yeah, if someone asked me the exact year that my brother died, I could probably go back and trace that. But the exact year, that was I was let's see, be 90, 80, be 80, 85, 85. Yeah, I think around 85. I think that'd be right. And the only reason that I can remember it was the same year that my parents divorced, and the same year that everything sort of went to shit, got upended. But that's the only reason I can remember that. 80, it'd be 85, 82, 83. Yeah, 83. Yeah, I have to trace back and try to remember how old I was at the time. Anticipating the explosive nature of the memory claims, the president's attorneys wrote her before the report was released to complain about the inclusion of what they said was highly prejudicial commentary. Maybe if we invested in therapy for the weapons, just a little bit of therapy. Um, you should give them back rubs and maybe, teach them not to be so angry. But we have figured out is it is not entirely the weapon's fault. Law-abiding citizens, in the hands of law-abiding citizens, they turn into assault weapons. Such comments have no place in the Department of Justice report, particularly one that in the first paragraph that no criminal charges are warranted and that the evidence does not establish Biden's guilt. What were you? Okay, as with Comey's statement on Clinton, the report was delivered not only in an election year, but in a bitterly polarized political climate. The FBI closed its investigation in July in 2016, but reopened it in less than 2 weeks before Election Day after potential new evidence was discovered. Isn't that weird? Comey cleared Clinton anew 2 days before the election, but in a final jolt blamed by Democrats for contributing to her loss. Though this year's election is 9 months away, discussion of Biden's memory cuts to the core, deep-seated voters' concern about his age approaching the November contest. I don't think they're worried about his age. They're worried about his mental capacity. I mean, if you got to deal with the dude's age, well, that's your own thing. It's his mental capacity that I think everyone's having a problem with. He looks like a damn puppet on a string. Prosecutor would be absolutely be aware that the context in which he is publicizing these types of gratuitous and unnecessary remarks, said former Justice Department prosecutor Christopher Mattei. And just looking at the reaction that they've gotten, it's quite clear and quite totally predictable that these types of remarks would have a political ramifications even during a primary season. Her selection as special counsel in 23 was clearly meant to show a nonpartisan approach by Garland. Her had held senior relationship roles in the Trump Justice Department, both in Washington and U.S. Attorney for Maryland. It sounds to me like he's just pushing for a job. And as a young lawyer, clerked for William Rehnquist, the conservative Supreme Court Chief Justice. Garland, meanwhile, has worked assiduously for the last 3 years to combat Republican claims of a politicized Justice Department. There you go. By repeatedly taking steps designed to prove that he is not catering to the interests of Biden or his family. Well, it sounds to me like you are anyway. Yet once the report was released, Democrats and some junior Justice Department officials appeared taken aback by the report's findings. Some openly undermined his findings. Well, this is why he's always polarized with it. He is a puppet on a string, but he's just not supposed to look like one. No, he can't help it. Nah, they need talk therapy. You're a good pew pew. It's people who continue to use you for bad reasons, sort of therapy. That's why some just jam up. They've gotten the support they need. That's probably right. That's probably right. Bad pew pew. Like Comey, her job was never going to be easy, especially not when a different special counsel, Jack Smith, already charged Trump with hoarding classified documents as Mar-a-Lago estate. Failed to her illuminate in his report the differences in fact patterns and legal analysis that led to one 24 candidate facing charges and the other not. Wow, that really makes it look better. So you're saying one's a doddering old man that doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, and then you've got another one that they're saying he's totally guilty because he is too competent or something like that. I don't know. And then of course it becomes this. I think part of the drama that is associated with this at the right moment is the circumstances we find ourselves in. Biden had classified documents. Trump had classified documents. Trump got charged. There's no way the other special prosecutor here was going to satisfy everybody. Well, it's stupid. The story has been corrected to reflect that the FBI Director James Comey announced his final conclusion in the Clinton email investigation 2 days before the 2016 election, not 9 days before. Yeah. We already knew about it. He announced his final conclusion, but everybody already knew that they were going to find her without fault, because that's how they roll. And be right back. You take care. You take care. We'll see you shortly. But how are they reacting to this? That's sort of the question. How is Biden's administration reacting to this? Mm. Add to the stage here. Here we go. So, Joe Biden's Democrat allies are launching an aggressive defense against the claims that the 81-year-old couldn't remember major milestones in his life, trying to diminish the significance of the prosecutor's allegations that he's too forgetful to be charged for handling classified information. Biden set the angry tone hours after the special report was released, dismissing the report. Yeah, we watched that. We watched that live and in living color, watching him like lose his shit. Democrats plan to answer the widespread questions. Why should they have to answer the questions? And that's not what, Jesus Christ. See, don't let people take over the narrative for you for what you're saying. How am I doing today? I'm doing really good, actually. I had a wonderful day. How about you, T-Rex? Hope you're having a good day. So here's the response. Republicans saying Biden is old is the least surprising thing in American politics. It's all they've got. That's not what they're saying. I mean, that's part of what they're saying. But they're saying that he is not mentally all there, is what Republicans are saying. That's not all they got. They got a hell of a lot more. That's just the only thing that they've got right now that they're showing people. Of course, Democrats plan to answer these questions about the 80. Why would they have to? All Democrats have to do is just let Joe Biden come out there and answer the questions. Just let him come out and prove how mentally stable that he is and how with it and all together he is. Let them see for themselves. Like I said, you're not going to see Biden do any debates because he's not mentally capable to do it. He'll do little town halls like he did, on his campaign trail in 2020, where he wanders into some place wearing a mask and takes off the mask in a drastic form and talks in front of a crowd of 60 or 70 cars. Yeah. Oh, but he's getting resounding results. Look at all the horns that are blowing. Hooray. Do you think Trump and Biden will debate? No. Why would they debate? I mean, it wouldn't hurt Trump at all. He'd just get up there and say what he always does and be as bombastic as he always is. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Democrats are basically trying to force him out, where he'll drop out of the race ahead of time, and somebody else will step up in his place to take over. I mean, at some point it becomes, and it could be, here's the thing. It could easily be that Democrats are releasing these kinds of things because they know they don't want him on the ticket. They know that he doesn't have a chance of winning. They already know. So the only way to do something about it is have these kinds of things released. Because then it looks like Republicans are on the attack of a doddering old man that doesn't quite have his memory. And it'll get support. The only problem is it's going to backfire on them and they don't realize it. That's my suspicion. My suspicion is that this is something that is being done by Democrats, knowing that they're about to lose. You put Biden up against Trump, and it's a lose-lose situation. And it's going to be harder for him to cover it up this go round. Hard to cover up his incompetency as a human being at this point. He's basically a jelly belly that's sitting around at the bottom of the bowl and looks like licorice. And I don't know, too many people don't like licorice. It's always the dark ones. Don't know why. I don't like the licorice either. It's bitter. Republicans saying Biden is old is least surprising. Democrats plan to answer the widespread questions about the 81-year-old president's age and readiness by affirming that Biden is capable of being commander-in-chief and trying to discredit people who portray him as enfeebled. Key to that strategy is drawing a contrast with Donald Trump. Oh, see, that is exactly what I was talking about the other night. No one likes the dark ones. Racist. I just said I don't like those dark ones. And this right here is what I had to deal with on wife's and I's little date night that we had. We went out with some friends, and poor guy started going off about, Biden and Trump. Was just like, well, he's lost his cognitive decline. I was like, you need to stop watching whatever news station you're watching because they're giving you a bunch of BS. And this was exactly one of his complaints. The front runner, who himself is 77 and has also confused names and facts. Well, do you remember what he said? And got all of the news reporters screaming out, no, it was Pelosi that was in charge of Capital City. Wow. I mean, they lost their freaking ever-loving minds over that shit. Whenever they've been saying that Trump has been in charge of it for, oh, Jesus Christ, we're going on almost 4 years now. And then whenever it comes out that, no, Nancy Pelosi was, and he's been saying Nancy Pelosi was, what does it matter who he says Nikki Haley was in charge of it? Really? To me, that sounds pretty impressive that he's got them all to admit it. I don't know. But also, here you go. Another one for you. Good morning, Sean Beard. Yes, it's good to see you. Republicans want to impeach the main official who cut Trump from the ballot. They face long odds. Of course they do. So there she is. Maine Secretary of State Shenna Bello speaks at an event on January 4th, 2023 in Augusta, Maine. Republicans who want to remove Maine Secretary of State from office in the wake of her decision to bar former President Donald Trump from state's primary ballot will face long odds against an influential member of the state's majority-holding Democrat Party. Republicans who want to use to unseat Maine Secretary of State for barring Donald Trump from the primary ballot will face long odds impeaching a stalwart and influential Democrat whose party holds firm control over both legislative chambers. Yes, but it still doesn't look good. Shenna Bello is the first Secretary of State in history to block someone from running for president by using the U.S. Constitution's insurrection clause. Trump, the early frontrunner for the 2024 nomination, has appealed the decision to the Superior Court. Maine has asked the Superior Court to review a similar ban in Colorado as Maine lawmakers returned to the Capitol on Wednesday to begin the year's legislative session. The Secretary of State has jumped in way over her boots on this one. She was elected Secretary of State 3 years ago by Maine legislature. This is more than a little political theater to produce those who disagree with my decision. I had the duty to uphold the laws and the Constitution. That's what I did, and I will continue to do until the Supreme Court says, no, you can't. By the way, they have. So far, they've put that on stay. So he basically stays on the ballot until they make their decision, which could be to remove him or it could be to keep him. I am sure we'll find out sometime soon. Oh, Lord, that is the state's voters' job. They vote in someone else. Exactly. Yes. Bello said Wednesday that should the Supreme Court of the United States make a decision that applies to the whole country, I would absolutely uphold it. Yeah, sure. I'll believe that whenever I see it. While Maine has just 4 electoral votes, it's one of the 2 states to split them. Trump won one of Maine's electors in 2020, so having him off the ballot there would be, should he emerge as a Republican general election candidate, could have outsized implications in a race that is expected to be narrowly decided. how is it expected to be narrowly decided? I wonder. I wonder what it could be that who is saying that it's supposed to be narrowly decided. I remember 2016, whenever there was no way Hillary had this one in the bag. It was going to happen. There's no doubt it was going to happen. So, speaking of the Supreme Court, Denver, U.S. Supreme Court is expected to determine whether former President Trump can keep running for the White House. Trump on Wednesday appealed a ruling of, well, it was much earlier than that. He did engage in insurrection. On Tuesday, he appealed a similar ruling in Maine. That's because the nation's highest court has never been ruled on Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, adopted in 1868 to prevent Confederates from regaining their former government post. Whatever the Supreme Court decides applies to Colorado will apply to all other 49 states, including Maine. There might be a reason why they're going to rule. And if you listen to Good Logic or MG or anybody else that's covered this, it does not sound very good for anybody that he's going to lose. The fix is in. They know now the support Trump has. So they've added tons of extra ballots to the boxes they put out in the middle of the night. They would never do something like that. And how dare you suggest it? And of course, we go through Section 3. Everybody, if they've been paying any half attention, they know that what it says. Nice and simple right now. Yeah, it's not so fast, Trump attorneys say. Okay. What do they contend? Reading the law as it's stated is what they're contending. So, and even even the guy that I talked to the other night, that's very much anti-Trump and all about thinking that Biden is the next greatest thing since pickled sliced butter. He's he agrees. He was just like, yeah, this is the way the Supreme Court ruling looks. It looks like they're going to be just from hearing what the Supreme Court had to say, not even watching the news. Like, yeah, they're gonna follow the rule of law and probably say, yeah, he's not seeing it, just for the way that they were talking about it. So as I go down through here, we know what's going on with that. What are his other arguments? His lawyers contend that the question of who is covered by and rarely used once obscure clause. Their final argument is convinced that the dissenting 3 of Colorado's 7 high court justices, in the ad hoc way the court went about finding that Trump violated Section 3, in turn violated his due process rights. They contend he was entitled to some structured adversarial legal process rather than the court in Colorado trying to figure out if the Constitution applied to him. Yeah. What will the Supreme Court do, where and when? Do and when. It says so the justices have had time to think about it. The High Court has dozens to different ways it can rule. It can uphold the Colorado ruling, say he no longer qualifies. The court could say Trump is qualified, and that would end all Section 3 challenges, including Maine. It could dodge by overruling Colorado on a technicality, but the procedure used to get to the case were there and set up for another case in the fall. You can say Congress makes the final decision. When the court might rule is another mystery. In Bush v. Gore, the case that ended the Florida recount made George W. Bush president. The court ruled in 3 days. The court could go slowly and wait until the end of its term in June 30th to rule. Obviously, that would open the door to more chaos and leave it uncertain during the primaries. Aren't Republicans just going to rule for Trump? Well, and they're talking about it in Congress, whether they would or not. So it's on whiz off shizzy. I don't serve up bullshit and call it pudding. I'm telling you. But Colorado court split 4-3 on the ruling. The majority quoted a ruling from Neil Gorsuch, one of Trump's conservatives, when he was a federal judge in Colorado. He ruled that the state properly kept a naturalized citizen born off Guyana off the presidential ballot because he didn't meet the constitutional qualifications. Democrats have already begun to suggest that Clarence Thomas should recuse himself because why not? Some of the strongest advocates of Section 3 against Trump have been prominent conservative legal theorists and lawyers who argue that the courts have to follow the actual words of the Constitution. They argue there's no wiggle room here. Trump is clearly disqualified. Well, those that cannot do teach. The question of whether Trump is qualified hasn't broken on traditional partisan lines in the legal world, partially because it is completely new legal ground. It's hard to predict how individual justices will rule based on their ideology. I don't know. Just from hearing what they had to say, it sounds to me like they are, what is it? People are predicting 7-8-1 or 9-0 ruling. Yeah, I would say they're 7-8. 8-1 or 9-0. I have no prediction on it because I've been fooled before by the justice system, but I would say by the questions that they were asking, that they're just gonna say, yeah, my bad, too sad. If that's all that you've got, then you need to get the F out of here and bring better case to the Democrats that are trying to go after Trump on this one. It's a harsh pill for them to swallow because they think they're right, but I haven't seen any proof of it as of yet. And I've heard the questions. Sorry, I need more coffee. I heard the questions the justices were asking, and we're talking about even some of the most stalwart Democrats were going, yeah, this can turn into really bad law. Even for everybody, not just one side or the other. Like you're taking it a step too far, and it becomes bad law. And I mean, even Jackson, Stonewall Jackson was asking some serious questions. She was very adamant about the bullshit that they were trying to feed. I was like, yeah, you don't want to go down this road because it can come back and bite your if you do win because of this, it's going to come back and bite you because it means they're going to go after Biden twice as hard. And he doesn't have the fortitude to actually make it. He couldn't handle something like that. But the reason most legal observers expect Trump to win in the high court is because courts are very hesitant to limit voters' choices. Exactly. There's even a term for that, the political question whether a legal dispute is better settled by the people the voters have selected to make the laws than by unelected judges. If that doesn't happen, some critics warn Trump's campaign is ended by Section 3 expected to become a weaponized political races. Imagine a world where any politician's career can end in a moment when the court or election official decides that person engaged in insurrection, the caution. Unless the high court shuts us down, Trump might only be the start. Yes. And that's going to come back to bite a lot of people in the ass if they do allow that law to happen. If they carry it through, it's not going to be pretty. Not going to be pretty at all. Oh my. What do we got going on here? Hey, sweetheart, Chris Mullen. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm glad you can make it. They always want to silence. They always want to silence the black man. Yeah. Well, we already know that Biden has no love for people of a different shade, and that's been very clear since he was a senator, congressman, whatever. Since he's been in political office, we already know that he has very little love for those of a darker complexion than him. He has very little. If I'm not mistaken, he used to refer to something about jungles or something like that. That he didn't want his city turning into a jungle. Or yeah, that was some of the things that he had to say, which was good job, there, buddy. Oh, I don't want to see that. See, where is it? Oh, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, it's snowing in other parts of the country. So this early spring everyone wanted, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. This early spring, it looks like it's failing more and more every day. Oh, come on, man. Biden loves the kids, rubbing the hair on his legs and his buddy Corn Pop. Stop spreading the lie, Shizzy. Stop. What are you talking about? We know what's going on here, and it's so horrible that we've got it. And we got this. I had no idea that anybody said this, but it's good to know. Oh, there we go. A look at what did not happen this week. Here we go. So this is a look at what did not happen this week. Share screen. This is a good one. We'll like this. This is not real news. A look at what did not happen this week. Roundup of some of the most popular but completely untrue stories and visuals of this week. None of them are legit, even though they were shared widely on social media. The AP checked them out. Claim Hawaii passed a bill to keep former President Donald Trump off the ballot during the 2024 election. The facts. Social media users are misrepresenting the status of the bill. Oh, okay. Hawaii's Senate Committee on Judiciary voted Tuesday to move forward a bill that could disqualify him from the ballot under the U.S. Constitution. Under that clause, the bill passed the first vote on the Senate floor last month and would need to pass at least 2 additional votes on the floor to clear the Senate and move the House. Well, it means that they're working on it. Just goes to tell you that they've got some issues. It would exclude candidates from ballots if they're disqualified under Section 3, which prohibits anyone who's sworn an oath to support the Constitution engaged in this kind of actions from holding public office. It sets up the process for removing Trump from the ballot, as well as anyone else who has violated this amendment. The intent was to have a process in place to be sure that provision of the Constitution is enforced, but you also have to understand what an insurrection is, not what you want it to be, because it is very specific on what it is. Now, if you want to say that Joe Bob down there, the little lovely Republican that he is, steps in to stop a fight and someone calls him an insurrectionist, and even if he's not charged for it, just because they said it, though, therefore it is. I mean, that's what they're wanting to qualify it as. It's stupid. It specifies that a person must have been convicted of overthrowing or attempting to overthrow the state or federal government by force or violence. So they can say that that person was trying to overthrow. Judge Maddie. Good to see you, Judge Maddie. I'm glad you could make it. Hey, Crystal. Democrats on the committee voted in favor, one with noted reservations. So that's one of them. There we go. More false claims. Microsoft will disable computers if users share non-mainstream content. Possibly. Claim Microsoft plans to disable computers of users who share non-mainstream content online. The facts. The article by any website known to publish erroneous content misrepresented an interview with the CEO about artificial intelligence, not only discussed how to reduce unintended consequences of AI, including misinformation, but made no mention of disabling computers. Social media users are sharing screenshot from the basic article. One post on X, formerly Twitter, that shared the screenshot alleged, as the article does, the supposed decision is part of a plan to combat so-called misinformation in the run-up to the 2024 election. Amazing, huh? It received approximately 11,000 likes and 8,700 shares as of Thursday, but the article provided no evidence that supports its claim. It comes from a website called The People's Voice, previously known as News Punch, which has published numerous stories based on fabricated information. as supposed proof of Microsoft plans. People's Voice story includes a clip from an interview she gave Nightly News anchor Lester Holt at the end of January, in which she talks about how to address the unintended consequences of AI. At no point does Nadalia say that Microsoft is going to disable anyone's computer from sharing. This is the first election where we dealt with disinformation and propaganda campaigns by adversaries and election interference. Okay. Microsoft told AP it has no plans to disable its computers, as describing in the claims spreading online. People's Voice responded to a request for comment. People's Voice responded to a request for comment. Okay. All right. So here's another one. Migrants in New York City will receive prepaid debit cards, not credit cards. That's a good one. So New York is giving credit cards to migrants. No, it's giving them debit cards. So they're basically giving them free money. The city's launching a pilot program that will provide illegals with prepaid debit cards to buy only food and baby supplies. Tell me how that's going to work. If it's a card, how is it going to lock someone out from purchasing anything outside of it? I mean, at that point you just gave them a gift card. Now you know where all those gift cards are going. Free money makes sense. Well, yeah, why not? So participants will be allowed to shop with the cards at bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience store. The goal is to cut costs and bolster businesses of local merchants. Well, the local merchants are already paying for these cards in the first place. And I mean, what about the people that aren't able to get the cards? Do you think that's going to stop them from breaking out windows and walking off with thousands and $1,000 worth, under $1,000 worth of equipment? The move comes amid a massive influx of migrants to New York City. Why? Those aren't migrants. What are they migrating for to New York City? I would say they're illegally crossing into the United States and being shipped up to New York City. Social media users misrepresent the new program with false claims about the type of aid participants will receive. Lunatic Democrats are handing out credit cards to foreigners while Americans are struggling. No lies there. Debit cards, okay, would have been better if they said lunatic Democrats are handing out debit cards to foreigners while Americans are struggling, or gift cards while Americans are struggling. How would you like it worded? But migrants will get prepaid debit cards, not credit cards, which will only be permitted to purchase food and baby supplies at certain types of retailers. I don't buy it for a damn second. It's an open invasion. Jesus Christ. Yes. Cars are a possible replacement for non-perishable food boxes the city currently provides to illegals. That will be loaded with an average of $12.52 per person per day for 28 days. So let's see. How much is that? Let me see. I'm gonna do one of them things called mathages. I'm gonna figure out math here. So let's pull up the little calculator here, because I'm curious. If say for example there was a particular family that had let's say they had 4 kids, just mom, dad, two siblings, two children. So that's $50 a day times 28 equals, so about, just for a family of 4, they would be receiving $1,402.24 per day. And you're trying to tell me, I mean, per week, for 28 days. For 28 days, they're going to get over $1,400 just for baby formula. Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that for a second. As a child of immigrants to the U.S., my family did things legally. Yes, 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 and yes. And that's one of the problems that I have with it. I've known plenty of people that have immigrated to the US and have gone through all of the bullshit to be here. And it's a lot of bullshit. It's not easy. And it's not supposed to be easy. It's just horrible that these people are just running roughshod, going through the back door and just allowed, and then given money on top of it. So 600, there's going to be spending $600,000 per month, is what they're saying. And it's basically just like using Snap or Wick, is what they're saying. So they do the same here. They look after the illegals better than those who make an effort to do things the right way. Yeah, it's horrible. Taxpayer is a person who suffers. Mm-hmm. Hey, good to see you. So, about 35 minutes into the press conference, Adam addressed the veracity of claims spreading online. We need to dispel the rumor that we gave American Express cards to everyone. That's just not true. Credit cards and debit cards are two different types of things, of payment methods. When using a credit card, a consumer borrows money that they must repay. This is money that's preloaded. We've already got the money there. We're just giving it away. Oh, except for, Joe down the street, that served his country for 4 years and got shot at every day for 4 years while he was serving in another war that we didn't want him to be in. Hey, that's okay. Don't worry about it. He's got VA benefits. He gets VA benefits. Yeah. It's, him and his, well, it's just him because his wife left him because he couldn't afford to feed him because he can't keep his head on straight. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll just give it to this little Mexican crew over here, and hopefully they vote for us. Hooray. The illegals in the cost-effective technology pilot program will only receive prepaid debit cards. We will provide prepaid debit cards to initial 500 illegals with children who may use the prepaid cards to exclusively at bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores to ensure the money is spent on food and baby supplies. Notice how they keep changing it. What it's going to be? It's like, oh, and baby food supplies. Yeah. They will be required to sign an affidavit affirming that they will be using these cards for the intended purposes and that doing otherwise will risk removal from the program. Let me get this right. You're expecting someone that came to this country illegally to do something legal once they get here. Okay, I'm confused. It'll make sense at some point. Mobility Capital Finance, or MoCaFi, the company that New York City is partnering with to launch the program, confirmed with the AP that the cards are not credit cards, they're debit cards. So basically, it's already been paid for. What constitutes as food? Can I buy food? Go sell it for cash to buy weird shit? Sure. You can claim that you have a baby. Just borrow someone else's. Come showing up with some sort of legal document, whatever, and say, yeah, I have a baby. Feed me, baby. Feed me, baby. So, we add that in there. So the pilot for that is they had 500 people. 500 people. So just get this, those 500 people in 1 month will be given more than most people will be making in, I don't know, a good portion of their life. So is whiskey. Sure is mass. So just think about this. In 28 days, 500 people are going to tap out $701,120 in less than 28 days. And you multiply that times 12, which is, just say, in 1 year, that's over $8,413,440. And if they keep that pilot program for the next 4 years and not change anything, that's over $33,653 seven three. Yeah, 33 million. Mo's going to kick your butt. I'm going to be on her channel bitching about things. It's all your fault. I know. It's okay. We're used to it. So $33,653,760 just for those 500 families. Now, say that they add another 500. That's 67 million. Well, what if it's another 2,000 that they add to it? Well, if it's another 2,000 that they add to it, so now you've got 4,000 people on this system. And you have to remember, we're getting 10,000 immigrants a day, and we're only up to 4,000. That's $67,307,520,000 a year. And that's only at 4,000. How about we double that? That's 134,615,000. Yeah. And it goes on and on. We haven't even hit the 10,000, but that's what we're receiving a day in immigrants. It goes crazy numbers. Those get some crazy damn numbers. Sorry if I'm not paying attention to over here on the Rumble side. I appreciate you guys. Or Kick. I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention. My computer can only handle so much information. So if you're over there, that's too much math. Yeah, it is too much math. But whenever you really break down the numbers, it becomes a little more frightening. Do you think that there's 8,000 immigrants in New York? How are they going to fund all of it? It just broke my brain with the math. Yeah, it happens. That's just in a year. We hit $1 billion within a year. We hit the hundreds of billions within a year, and that's just under 8,000 people. And then they wonder what's wrong, why Texas is saying, oh, we're having problems with this. And they're saying that they want to send, what, 60 billion to support Border Patrol to stop the flow of fentanyl, so they claim. It becomes a little scary. It's I missed this, and see what AP has to say about it, because they didn't allow they didn't really like me bringing up Tucker's interview on the YouTubes. I did start it on the Rumble side, which I will finish at some point in time, just not today. So some of what Putin told Tucker Carlson, missing the bigger picture. This fills in the gaps. Oh, okay. Let's see what AP has to say. Putin sat down in the Kremlin for a 2-hour interview with Tucker Carlson, pushing his views on justification for the nearly 2-year-old war in Ukraine. No, that would be the first mistake. That would be the first mistake that they're making. There you go, your first lie. Prospects of peace talks and other issues. He also touched on the arrest of Evan Gershkovich, the American journalist for the Wall Street Journal, who is charged with espionage. Some look at the key quotes supplied context and background. Who started the war? It was started. It was they who started the war in 2014. As I said, the numbers are completely wrong. Our goal is to stop this war, and we did not start this war in 2022, and this is our attempt to stop it. Putin justifying the Germans' attack on Poland was a little too much for you. No, he didn't justify it. That's not what he said at all. He wasn't justifying it. Because you have to remember that at that point in time, that Stalin wanted to Germany and 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 the former USSR had the same plans. It's the same idea. I mean, everyone calls Germany fascist and the other one communist, but if you look at it, it's all communism, just different forms of it. One took it to one extreme, the other one took it to another extreme, but it's still the same thing. And that's all that he was referring to it is, these people were in the same boat doing the same thing, wanting to do the same thing. Statement refers to the violence in Ukraine that was sparked by the 2014 ouster of the Moscow friendly president Viktor Yanukovych amid mass anti-government demonstrations in Kiev. Russia responded by illegally annexing the Crimea region of Ukraine, and fighting broke out in the country's industrial east because these people did not want to be part of Ukraine. And it was the fascist wing of the Nazi party that came in and went hard after its own people. I mean, they started the crap going on there. So when Putin sent troops into Ukraine on February 24th, 2022, Ukraine's Western allies described it as unprovoked act of aggression. Putin said Moscow was forced to act preemptively to stop Ukraine from joining NATO and preventing a large-scale offensive by Kyiv aimed at reclaiming those eastern regions. Russia has provided no evidence that any such operation was in the making. That's more than what he said. That is not all of what he was talking about. He had to give a little bit of history of how long this bullshit has been going on. So Putin's quote, "We haven't achieved our aims yet because one of them is denazification." That means the prohibition, thank you, of all kinds of neo-Nazi movements. So the context, Russian propagandists have repeatedly sought out to portray Ukrainian President Zelensky as a neo-Nazi or Nazi sympathizer. No. What they've been talking about is people inside of that government are I need some whiskey for that throat. Oh, I need water is what I need, or some more coffee. And so they're talking about Russian propagandists. It's all propaganda when you look at it. Even though he is Jewish and has said 3 of his granduncles died in the Holocaust, Putin has offered no proof to back his repeated claims that radical ultra-nationalist groups of Ukraine influenced Zelensky. No, he's talking about the ultra-radical groups that are fighting in there. That's what he's been talking about. It's just so weird. Up until the wall fell, no ordinary Russian was told about the Winter War. Finland was Russia's one friend in the West, and that did not jive with that. Yeah, the Winter War was pretty damn brutal. That was the Finns went harsh on the Russians. they did some ass whooping. Initial failure of peace talks. As soon as we pulled back our troops from Kiev, Ukrainian negotiators immediately threw all agreements reached in Istanbul into the bin and got prepared for the long-standing armed confrontation with the help of the US and its satellites in Europe. I see no lies in that whatsoever, but of course, let's put this into context. The Russian Ukraine officials negotiated a tentative peace deal in Istanbul in March, a month after the start of the invasion, but it quickly collapsed while Russia it quickly collapsed because if you went up against what you the agreement that you were making and did not do what you were going to say in the agreement, as you've done multiple times, you EU, because it wasn't expedient. Jeez. As a sign of goodwill, the Kremlin clearly was forced to retreat due to heavy losses and logistical problems while trying to. Jeez. Uh, Future negotiations. We haven't rejected negotiations. You just have to come to the table with something. If you come at Russia acting like they're a third world Iran or Iraq or one of these places where they would much rather have sex with goats, then they might say, don't treat us like that. We're much better. We enjoy like more refined, like cashmere goats. Just saying. While insisting that Russia is open for talks, the Kremlin has maintained a tough negotiating stand, as they should. No different than the US. Whenever they say we don't negotiate with terrorists, that's how we should stand. Saying Ukraine will need to accept the gains Russia has made in eastern and southern parts of the country, Ukraine for its part says no talks are possible until Russia's complete withdrawal from occupied areas. Well, good luck on that. Then you're at a standstill. Then you're going to be at a standstill. Good morning, Jamie. How are you doing, girl? Good to see you. I hope that you are doing well. It is always a pleasure to have you in my chats. You make it very, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. Cool, good stuff. I was looking to see if I had something up here, but it doesn't look like there is. What do we got? Nope, I'm not seeing it. There was something I was looking for. See, I'm bad. I'm bad whenever these kind of things start happening. I start losing my mind and doing crazy things. Trying to do. There we go. Going to open this up here and that there. Okay. Copy. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm horrible at this kind of stuff. And wow, that's really weird. Sorry, I'm very distracted. This is what happens whenever you do these kind of things on your own. you get distracted very easily with things that don't really matter. Well, except to me. Then they always matter. Paste that there. Boom. That's it. Done. Save that. All right. There we go. Sorry. Sorry about that, everybody. Oh, say spy charges against American Evan Gersovich. He was caught red-handed when he was secretly getting classified information. Gersovich, I think that's the name, a reporter for the Wall Street Journal, was arrested in March of 23 on espionage charges and hasn't been in jail ever since pending his trial. Gersovich and the Journal deny the allegations. The U.S. government said he has been wrongfully detained. Russian authorities haven't released any evidence of Putin cited to support the charges. Putin also suggested that a prisoner swap was possible. So there you go. That's all the disinformation that is not true around the verse. It's crazy how this works. It's crazy how bad people are at these kind of things. But we do have some more cheerful stuff to show you guys because enough of the depressing, sad, and just unhappy news. We watched something completely unrelated to any of this and show a little bit of love. Here we go. welding actually is, here is your answer. Pretty neat, huh? And yes, that is sped up. And that, if I'm not mistaken, is a TIG welder. So, pretty interesting. Don't know if that's Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or what. Yeah. Allows you to do some really pretty welds on it. Now that's steel and more steel. Pretty easy welds that they're doing there also. But yeah, they're speeding it up because it requires a little bit more than just slapping two pieces of metal together like that. It's sped up. Looks Japanese. Could be. I don't know. Oh, that's aluminum right there. As is that. That's aluminum. Which is really super easy to weld. Yeah, that's highly sped up. Yeah, I've done enough welding that I know that that's sped up. Basically, you're just fusing two pieces of metal together using something in between. But I did not realize, and I showed this last night. So for all you patriotic people out there, this might get me in trouble, but for all you patriotic people out there, very nice and clean. Hey, Jude. Good to see you. Hey, MG. You're starting your drive to court, and in the snow, you'll be listening. Well, that's always a fun thing because I will only be doing this probably about another 35, 40 minutes before I have to actually go do a nice morning workout and get some stuff done. But this is for all you fine sports fans out there. And if you saw this last night, you will know what I'm talking about. So here you go. Oh, I didn't share the sound. Oh, no, the sound. My sound is off here. Give me a second, so that way I can hear it, because this is impressive. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Yeah, I boomered it. I turned off my mic. Yeah, that's impressive. That's very impressive. I was pretty, pretty cool to see that yesterday. That brought a little tear to my eye, just a little one. But you got to have some happiness, in the world. So if you want to get a good idea about some, I always like these two. I don't know if it's going to get me in trouble, so I'll mute it just in case they have sounds that I'm not supposed to have. Yeah, I tapped that mic, tapped. So this is in the 1940s in France. Imagine how clean and nice that looks. hmm I like the colorized stuff. It looks pretty damn awesome. I mean, look at that pretty car. I mean, you know, you notice something about this though. You don't see too many large people. Like whenever I say large, I mean like large overweight people. You just don't see too many of them there. It's like they tend to be, I don't know, slim, walking around. The only time you see people really on the buses is, just to get there a little bit quicker. You know, most people bicycles, they've got a ticket taker that stands on the back of those things. That is fake. France was never that clean. Yeah, it is. Uh, it's all the walking, and food was more expensive back then. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. They'll give you some debit cards for it. Yeah, no crosswalks, no nothing like that. Just standing in the middle of the road, just looking to get out of the way. Like I just want to step off. It's crazy. You do think it's fake? Nobody's smoking. It's not a lot of people in the movies. I think this is the 30s, if I'm not mistaken. So why would you need to smoke? It's like less fast food, more expensive, rationing, etc. Try that on the west side of Chicago. Mm, I mean, pretty impressive. Pretty damn impressive. Commerce happening. Got the damn steam engine still. It's crazy. Like everybody's wearing hats. And the people that aren't wearing hats actually have hair. People rushing to get on the morning commute. You imagine got this guy back there in the back, and he's just chucking coal in there as fast as he can to keep that engine nice and hot. Got it moving. Yeah, it's pre World War. This might be even, when was this? This might have been the 30s. I have to look again. I'd rather live in the 40s, 50s, hell up into the early 80s. Even after that, things just went to shit. But sweetheart, Eris, just think about this. You won't even notice it until later that you are currently living in the 20s. Think about that. If that was a steam engine, that hall would be smoke filled. It is smoke filled, and it is a steam engine. Let me show you what I mean. We scroll back here whenever it pulls in. Do you see this little car right there? This little particular car right here in the back, that little car right there. That's for carrying coal. That's what carries the coal. Um, Whenever they fire that thing up and they would get it going, they would be bellowing out steam, or it'd be bellowing out the stuff. Old New York is just as beautiful. Yeah, those. You take it back to that period of time, and right now you are in the 20s, and most of us will probably be around in the 30s and the 40s. But and now all we have to look forward to in these wonderful times in the 20s, just remember the early part of the 20s, this was the thing. This was totally the thing in the early 20s.
Did you say free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this, these delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this.
Oh,
If this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination. Mmm. Vaccination.
You did it. I didn't. You did it. Shut the fuck up.
yeah. Those were the 20s. That's early 20s, isn't it? We're also living through history. I'd personally rather not be living through so much that it will end up being in the history books. Well, most of it won't end up in the history books. Just remember that. Most of it will not end up in the history books. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we were speaking of the that burger looked terrible. Well, it didn't matter to him. Did his mother not teach him to speak with his mouth full? Well, he knows he got removed. Didn't? Oh, you forgot about that, huh? He was replaced. Oh my God, people's manners have gotten so bad. Worse than barn animals. Yeah. Speaking of drug companies, here's a good one for you.
What drug does Imbruvica, what does it treat?
Congressman, I recognize Imbruvica is one of the products that we do market. I'm not exactly sure.
It's okay. I'm not trying to trick you.
I'm not trying to trick you. What is this drug treat?
It treats leukemia. Do you know what the price that Johnson & Johnson has?
Oh, yeah. And dying from polio infections, rabbit. Yeah. I mean, it just snowed just enough to be cold and messy. That sucks. I hate that.
Set for it?
I do not have that on my fingertips.
It's $484 per capsule.
Per capsule, per tablet.
Which works out
to treat leukemia, which works to be about $14,000 per month. This is for one person.
up to about $14,000 per month, which works out to about $16,000, $160,000 per year
$160,000 a year
for leukemia patients. Now, do you know, or I can tell you, how much money, gross revenue, the Johnson & Johnson has made from this drug over the last 10 years?
One drug.
And it's not something that I'm an expert at, not something
Sure.
I'm here to testify to today.
$22 billion.
For a leukemia drug. $22 billion that Johnson & Johnson made off of one particular drug.
You know the gross profits of Johnson & Johnson in 2023?
I couldn't tell you that.
$65 billion.
So, $65 billion. $168,000, but who's counting? Yeah, that's disgusting. Yeah. So they're made off of this one particular drug to treat leukemia, to help people. And the amount of profit that Johnson & Johnson has made off of this one particular drug is 1/3 of their gross revenue that they were making.
So just to recap, you've got a pill for leukemia patients. You sell it at $484 per capsule. That's $160,000 a year. You've made $22 billion over the last 10 years, and you're making $65 billion in profit. Now, we have passed as a Congress, and the president has signed a bill saying, you know what, let Medicare negotiate to try to bring that price down. And you, in your department, because you're Assistant General Counsel, have filed a lawsuit saying that that negotiation would be an unjust taking. Let me ask you this. Do you believe when the Veterans Administration negotiates for drug prices with you that that is a violation of the takings clause?
Do you? Born in 52, and there were lots of drawbacks. Well, back to chores. You have a couple of trees are down. Sorry to hear that. Get back to chores and you take care of yourself, Rabbit. It is always a pleasure seeing you here. Johnson messed us up on the vax because your personal opinion? I don't know. The Depression was not until the 30s and was caused by government intervention after the market crash. There you go. Too big to fail.
Congressman, I appreciate the question. The bases for our litigation against HHS with respect to the Inflation Reduction Act are fully disclosed in our complaint. I'm not an expert in this area.
You're here, you're the Assistant General Counsel for a company that is accusing the United States government of taking your property.
Wow. That you would think that as assistant counsel, making an accusation like that you would know a little bit about what the hell is going on, but you're not an expert in this field, but you're making these claims. How can you not answer those? Yes, a similar crash occurred in the 20s, but with no government intervention, recovered quickly, and the result was the roaring 20s. Yes.
Because we're negotiating, and you can't answer a simple question about, I'm just a yes or a no. Does the Veterans Affairs negotiation with Johnson & Johnson constitute a taking?
Congressman, we believe that the IRA
No,
constrains
no,
medical innovation.
I'm not asking about that area. I'm asking you about, do you believe the Veterans Affairs, when they negotiate, does that constitute a taking?
Congressman, again, that is not a litigation that I have great familiarity
Okay,
with.
so I'll just say you don't want to answer that question. Do you believe when Medicaid negotiates and gets a rebate for anything over the price of inflation, do you believe that that constitutes a taking?
Congressman, again, it's not an area that I specialize in.
I guess I don't understand how, being the Assistant General Counsel, you can come before the United States Congress when you're suing the United States government, saying that we are taking your property. You know, that's a very serious charge. Taking means like if I came as the government with the force, took your property, and you don't know
Which they
whether it's
can.
a taking, whether when the Veterans Administration negotiates, you don't know whether it's a taking, whether Medicaid negotiates. I assume.
Oh, what is this? Judge Maddie says, I always defended pharmaceutical companies. I didn't mind them making huge profits in exchange for life improving product. Yes. I had never had a problem with that ever. Ever. Make a profit off of it. That's fine. But if not Johnson & Johnson, who are we to decide their prices? Yeah, I mean, the market handles it. Damn, dropping the hammer on sir. I don't recall. Don't know. Wait, you're saying the government screwed up something, MG? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so, MG. Say it. Say it. Say it's not so. Just please say it. It can't be. It can't be so. It can't be true. Just say it, MG. Say it. Say it for his precious little ears. Say it for him, MG. He needs to feel it. He needs to feel the comfort and the knowing that everything is good. Everything is good. He needs to know. Can you do that for him? Oh my God. Jeez Louise. So insane. Tell him, make him happy. T-Rex is all worried.
You would say it's not a taking, because obviously it's not a taking. These administrations have been negotiating for years, and yet you're arguing that Medicare should, when they negotiate, it's a taking. Medicaid, do you know how many % of the American population?
Oh, also before FDR, the U.S. government was like 1 or 2% of the economy. They really could not do much. Yes. Now it's about 95% of the economy. They could hike taxes like Hoover did, but not much else. Yeah.
population is on Medicare?
Congressman, no.
It's
for community-
18% about. Do you know how many are on Medicaid?
Congressman, no.
About 18%. So it's not like Medicare has a bigger market. Medicaid negotiates with 18%. Do you know about how much is on, how many of our people are veterans? It's about 6%. So you have already a larger population when you combine Medicaid and Veterans Affairs.
I don't think it's okay for Johnson & Johnson or any other company to charge hundreds of dollars per pill for a life-saving medicine and therefore unsure that only the rich can afford it or those with expensive health care. Yeah. But it is also not my decision. That is their decision, and I think that they should reap all the benefits and all of the animosity at the same time. If they're charging hundreds of dollars per pill, then it should be brought out and made known, and that they should be shamed mercilessly, completely, and utterly, mercilessly, just condemned for doing it to the point where they change what they're supposed to do. Yep, the New Deal made everything exponentially worse. And like every government program, those never went away. They only got bigger. Absolutely.
Negotiating with your company so that you don't make $65 billion in profits every year. And so leukemia patients don't pay $160,000. You have filed a lawsuit. I think it is shameful what you and the pharmaceutical companies have done in suing the United States government to protect those profits. And you are totally unprepared to answer a single question about what the takings clause is and a justification for that lawsuit. I mean, I really believe hopefully someone in the company and these other pharmaceutical companies can provide the American people with an explanation why you consider Medicare negotiating those drugs to lower those profits, those obscene profits, a taking when you don't consider that for the Veterans Affairs Administration.
These hearings are nothing but a large circle jerk anyway. Nothing comes from them, just a way for politicians to look like they're working. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's shameful. Science used to be about helping people, and now it's all about profit. Well, it costs. make it a profit costs.
For Medicaid. Mr. Chairman, I hope someone will answer my questions on that, and I yield back my time.
Amazing. And you don't have to agree with everything about it, because you do miss a lot of the nuances of all of it. And that's the problem with a lot of this bullshit. You miss the nuances of everything else that follows along with it. Let me see. Oh, I was going to show that, but no. Let me see. Well, I got everybody here. Let me pull this one up, because this is supposed to be a happy place. It's supposed to be a happy place. Here we go.
Come on, let's get it. Come on. I think it's walkable. Come on. Come on. Okay. Come on, bud. This way, bud. This way, man. This way. Come here, come on. Come on. Oh my God. Woo! Come on.
Why is this dog out in the water? And obviously that water's pretty damn cold. See, someone had to go out there and get Wolfram. Well, Wolfram wanted to go walk on the ice. How did that dog get out there? Ask Wolfram. He's the one that did it. He's the one that went out there. See? Because it was ice and he fell through. Yeah, it happens. Hey, it looks sturdy enough. Oh, yeah, Pupper made it out. He was fine. He made it fine. So here you go. If you have any curiosity of what it looked like in the 20s in France, there you go. I'll show you another one. Here you go. This is France in the 20s. See, dude smoking. Aw, wasn't that nice? I've been in this area in Paris with my wife. Not much has changed either because it still looks pretty much the same. The tables are set up about the same amount of space in between each one of them. Not as much smoking though. They sort of look down on it a little bit more now. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Oh my gosh. Let's see. And more rain, of course. It's raining here. Where is it? There was a really good one here. And I'll find it shortly. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, this is a good one. There we go. She comes up, touch, 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 grab. Don't grab electrical fences. Don't grab electrical fences. That's always bad. I did find a video that very few will get. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, don't whiz on the electric fence. Yeah, that's always a bad idea. Oh, this is really cool. I wanted to share this with you guys because this is something that I plan on doing with a table. I've been trying to figure out something to do. Yeah, look at that strut. Look at that strut. Our old family dogs were afraid of cows after being on a fence. It thought the cows 100 yards caused the pain. Don't pee on the electric fence. Ren and Stimpy classic. Oh my God, yes. Ren and Stimpy was so awesome. So this is really cool, and this is something I want to do with a table I've got. It's pretty neat. It comes in, grinds all these pine cones down, adds the another coat to it of epoxy. Yeah, is that cool or what? So basically just ground down all of these pine cone pieces. And I'm like, this is something similar to what I want to do. Hey, what's up, Zach? Good to see you. Hello, Scone. It was good life lesson from Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, there was lots of life lessons. Don't eat out of the litter box. I would love to play the music to this, but I can't because it'll probably get me in trouble. Like I got in trouble all kinds last night for the stuff I was doing. Why can't I pee on the fence? This is America, not the EU. Hey, you do you. You really feel that urge. There we go. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this. This is talent right here. Boom. It's like, damn. Yep. That is some serious talent. And then, of course, because I pulled up all this woodworking stuff, guess what shows up in my feed? Whenever you see this, you're going to be impressed. I wish I was this talented. Yeah, that was well done. Let's see. It's Taylor Swift's America. You can do anything. You just shake it off. Just don't shake it too hard. Oh, God. Here we go. You're going to love this. Make sure I've got it muted. Yeah, it's muted. Here we go. This is talent right here. I wish I had this kind of skill. Yeah, that's some talent right there. Let's vanquish the 49ers. Come on. Who would not be impressed with that? Who could not be impressed with that? And let's see, got another one here I wanted to show. Yeah, this has to be muted. Now, all you have to remember is just the smile. Just remember the smile on this. It's the smile is telling. If you hadn't seen this, smile is telling. He's just looking at him, smiling. look at my eyes. Just like, dude. Oh, my dad used to carve like that. It is amazing. Yeah, that is pretty damn amazing. Oh, all right. One more puppy for you. This is another one for Wolfram here.
Anh, không. Buồn,นั่นแหละเร็วๆครับเก่งกาจเขาเนี่ยไปเลยลงไปดังดีๆไปแล้วไปเที่ยวแล้วเนี่ยเร็ว
Look at him go. Yeah, he learned to swim. He didn't want to do it. You're getting over the top vibes. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it was. Oh, big man hurt. Maybe one less soy latte and he would have had the little man. Yeah. He got pretty busy about that. All right. You ever seen a baby hippo? You think you want one. You think you want one until you see him do this. Hippos are more dangerous than lions. Yeah, they are. That's pretty cool though. Oh, him's so cute. Oh, cute baby killing machine. Exactly. That thing is so ugly. It is cute. Yeah. Until those teeth grow out. Oh man. But I wonder if anyone eats hippos. I don't know. Hippos kill more people than sharks. Yeah. 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 Maybe it's because of their location. I've seen what they can do to like an alligator. Ooh, man. They will mess up an alligator in short order. I really would love to show one to you, but I can't. But if you haven't seen it, check out the new what do you call it? Video for Deadpool, the up and coming one, Deadpool versus Wolverine. If you want to see something neat, that's it looks like it's going to be fun. They don't like the taste. Well, it usually happens to be the rubber suits that they're trying to bite through. But I did get a video of MG's morning commute. It's pretty glorious, just so you guys know. And then I will fire this thing off, and we'll be sending you guys over to the Broken Bakers after this, because that's what we're going to be sending you folks. But here you go. This is MG on his ride commute in the morning. This is the way you do it. This is how you do it. Morning commute, road rage, and then move on with your day. Hold on. My dogs are losing their shit right now. That means that somebody's probably walking up the walk. I got. No, I keep muting because the dogs are losing their shit. That's why I'm muting. They've calmed down since then. All right. With that, everybody, you have a wonderful day, and let's watch some people drink fake coffee, or not drink coffee, or something like that. And make sure you go and give Baker a nice thumbs up. Show him a little bit of love, and if you're so inclined, go over to Mo in the Deep End. She's also got a wonderful stream going this morning. She'll be doing the Newsy News at 9. And you can always go over and check out Mo, see the Newsy News, and then go over and check out Baker. But I will be sending all of you folks over to Baker, and I'm going to reach out to Mo and see if I can get a stream set up for this evening, where we go over some more of the Sadie Beecham stuff. That's what we've been doing. But don't be too thrilled, too overexcited about it. Just make sure that you show these folks some love, and have a good day, everybody. It's Monday. I mean, what can go wrong on a Monday? Well, just about everything can go wrong on a Monday. Like you could be, getting some bunch of snow and having to go out and clean up and do some of that other kind of crap. Me, I am just dealing with rain all day. So hooray for me. Everybody, peace. Have a good day.